Hi, I'm Wes Mack. I'm an actor, musician, producer, director, and you're listening to Kneel Before the Pod.
Kneel Before Blog presents Kneel Before Pod.
Hello and welcome to Kneel Before Pod, the podcast that survived the rapture. I'm your host Craig and we are here to discuss the September 2025 news and trailers. We're back after missing a month. Maybe we were raptured, who can say. Joining me for this, he may or may not have been raptured and sent back and discussed. It's Isaac, hello.
Hello, I'm still here, even though the one thing I know has been cancelled. I still have a use.
You still have a use. You weren't taken to a higher plane of existence.
I was not. I'm vaguely aware of Rapture talk, but I don't know the full details.
The rapture was supposed to be the 23rd of September, apparently.
No, still here.
No, didn't happen. I think it's really rude that it was just before my birthday. Imagine it really happened. I'd be really disappointed.
I would be.
I don't get to go out for my birthday because I'm dead or something. Or maybe I'm left behind, who knows?
Why can't anyone go to your birthday like raptured?
Yeah, some of them were raptured.
Some of them were raptured.
I'm still here, which is even worse. Anyway, enough talk of that.
It's all fine.
Okay, let's start with a roundup of what we've been watching recently. So what have you been watching?
Of the modern things, I've recently finished Wednesday Series 2, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, I heard mixed things about it.
I'm not really paying attention to much of like the online chat. It's certainly less narrative driven. The first one, the case is more clear, whereas this one's just more going on characters and spooky vibes. I really enjoyed new additions like Billy Piper and Steve Buscemi.
Christopher Lloyd was in it as a head in a jar or something, wasn't he?
Christopher Lloyd is a head in a jar. We get a brief appearance of Lady Gaga. Lots of new celebrity appearances. And I think the main characters are still very solid. I say this one's a little bit spookier. If you got little kids or youngsters who enjoyed the first series, maybe watch it ahead because there's some pretty gruesome stuff. It's a bit more visually spooky. There's a lot of brain eating.
Okay.
There's a zombie character in it, so it can be a little bit graphic, but it should be fine for everyone else. It's a good fun. It's not particularly too long. It's just a nice sort of spooky adventure. And I still really enjoyed it.
I was going to say they've been collecting Doctor Who alum, but it was Michelle Gomez that was in Sabrina, not Wednesday.
Yeah, and it's only Billy Piper that I'm aware of.
But they're both Netflix horror things. So.
Yeah, both Netflix horror things. I'm sure some of the teenagers have been exterminated at some point in their early extras lives.
Probably. I haven't seen that. I did start season 1, but I didn't get into it. I really like Jenna Ortega, though. I think her performance as Wednesday and what I saw was very good because it's that very much not expressing emotion, but always expressing mild disdain at everything around her.
Yeah, she's another expert deadpan actress who can stare steely-eyed on command quite well. The girl who plays Enid, we'll talk about her a little bit later. She's also very good. So it's a pretty solid cast. It's autumn, have a hot chocolate, get cozy and put something on TV. It's definitely worth that sort of viewing.
Cool. You've seen something modern. Well done.
Exactly. Other than that, there's the Bake Off. That is not quite the vogue of what we chat about. And you did bring me along to see The Long Walk.
Yes.
First of the few Stephen King films of the year.
Yes, but Stephen King's pseudonym movie. I think he wrote it when he was at university or something like that, when he was really young.
I've not looked too much into the writing. I've not read any Stephen King, but apparently this is one of his very early works. Very stressful.
It is.
Really stressful film.
It's my least favourite apocalypse scenario where I have to walk.
Yeah.
If I have to walk, I'm out. Just kill me.
When we left the cinema, I live a mere 2 bus stops away. But I was so exhausted after watching these people. I was like, I'll just get the bus. I've watched these people walk across the estate, essentially. Just the worst of the worst. I'll just get the bus. I'm too tired.
Watching people walk for hundreds of miles. No thanks.
Yeah, no thank you. I'll get the bus.
It was really good. The themes are very timely. It's about class divide and how people are exploited.
Yeah, sacrificing young men in terms of the Vietnam message that would have been at the time.
Yeah, but now it's just poor people have to keep walking while rich people don't. And you walk with the promise of maybe one day you don't have to walk anymore. Or maybe one of you doesn't have to walk anymore.
It's very nihilistic.
Yeah, it's a very timely commentary on society in terms of how it works.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill was very good.
He was, yeah, as the face of evil.
Yeah. He had a good time in those 20 minutes of filming he did or whatever it was. It wasn't much.
He was effective. It was certainly memorable. It's definitely not a phoned-in performance. He went for it. That's what I've seen most recently.
I have a few things on my list. Strange New Worlds Season 3 is finally finished, thank God. Still didn't enjoy it. There was only 2 episodes I liked. There's a review of every episode on the site that you can read. There's also a podcast where we brought in Darren Mooney and talked for 4.5 hours. Well, the final edit was 4.5 hours. The actual conversation was significantly longer than that, but it was a good time. We had an involved discussion about a season of TV that I did not enjoy. The problem with it is I think it's not trying to challenge the viewer in any way. And the thing about Star Trek was always moral questions being posed to the audience about timely ideas through a science fiction lens. And it's just not doing that, which means that I don't ever feel intellectually nourished by it.
Like one of those, a rip-off. Like when a new video game comes out and it masters a mechanic, and then there's like 20 speedily made similar ones. Like after Assassin's Creed, there was so many parkour games. These aren't really trying. They're just capitalizing on an easy thing.
Yeah, but in this case, it's Star Trek failing to copy itself, which is a bit bizarre, but hopefully season 4 will be better. We'll find out in about 5 years.
Find out in due course.
I watched Marvel Zombies. I don't really have much to say about it. It was 4 episodes of Marvel characters
Fighting zombies
or as zombies, whichever one you want to look at. I did like it though. One thing I liked about it was that it was focusing on the newer characters. So the main character for the show is Kamala Khan. So you get to see more of her. Kate Bishop's in it. Shang-Chi's a prominent character. So they did front load some of their newer characters, which of course the films aren't quite doing. And then you get twists on various others in zombie form.
Are they aware of using their powers? Do they have any semblance of their personality? Is it like in Deceased where the Flash is a zombie but he's super speedy?
They seem to have muscle memory, so zombie Hawkeye still uses a bow and arrow and so on. And yeah, they use their powers, so I guess it is just natural muscle memory, but they don't retain any of the personality that they had, with one exception.
Okay,
won't spoil. I understand that comics aren't like that. The zombies are all aware, they're all talkative and so on.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs because I've never read it.
Yeah, I've not read the Marvel Zombie.
But as I understand it, they have personalities that just aren't the hero personalities or the perversions of them or something. I should read it one of these days.
There's no place to read.
So it's fine, 4 episodes. I think there'll be another season of it because it does end with a cliffhanger.
If it's doing well and if people like it and it's established characters in an established world, it's fairly fun. Like there's lots to play around with undead variants of beloved characters and making them be relatively evil.
I've also been watching Peacemaker, which I'm really enjoying. I like John Cena in that role. I like those characters. I think that's the perfect project for James Gunn because it feels like it's just him at his most creative and unhinged. Whereas I feel like with Superman, he has to kind of rein it in a lot.
Yeah, because the thing with Superman is there was so much pressure on the movie. There's the stories of Warner Brothers putting literally all their chips on the Superman movie doing well. So there's probably a lot of going like, don't stretch the walls of what's possible. Just make it a solid Superman movie and don't alienate any audiences. Kind of make it for everyone.
Yeah, and because it's Superman, he does have to colour in the lines more than he would with anything else he's making. Whereas with Peacemaker, he doesn't have to do that. All his characters can be damaged and depraved in equal measure, and it's really good. And one thing I prefer about it to Superman is it deals with the whole pocket dimension thing, but it actually turns out in a plot point rather than having it just be a thing that's in the film. So it's actually exploring the potential of that in really interesting ways. I won't spoil what happens, just in case people haven't caught up, but they're doing it really well.
Yeah, that was definitely an element of the Superman movie. Spoilers for Superman, Lex Luthor has a pocket dimension. No one's going to question it. Yeah, he just has that. In a standard superhero movie, that would be the main plot is to build this, whereas in this, he just has it like if he had a second home or like he had a private office in a penthouse suite or whatever. It's like, no, he's just got his own little universe that he's messing around in, and no one really bats an eyelid at it.
So Peacemaker's good. I'd recommend it. At the cinema, was at the film festival, the Edinburgh Film Festival in August, and since there wasn't an August news podcast, I didn't really get much chance to talk about it. On the whole, I found most of the films that I saw quite disappointing, but there were 3 that I'll recommend here, 2 of which I've reviewed. There's one called Redux Redux, which is a really cool multiverse movie. It's effectively Terminator. You have this woman that's trying to kill every version of the man that killed her daughter that she can find. And every universe she goes to, the murder has already happened. So she just keeps doing it. It's this cycle of revenge and self-loathing and grief that she's stuck in. And I know a lot of multiverse projects, they focus on what's different about the universes. But in this one, the frustration is how similar they are. So she goes to all these universities, finds out that her daughter's still dead and so on. And it's subtle differences like the diner that she goes to has different coloured coffee cups or whatever. It's that endless frustration of, why are none of these different? I think that really works. And it's a really good way to do it low budget because you just use the same location, slightly redress it. It was very entertaining, very interesting as a multiverse concept, and it's a good way to do one on the cheap. Redux Redux. You should be able to check that out pretty soon. Another one I saw was Brides, which is about these two teenage girls that are on a quest to join the Islamic State, and it's a really weird contrast between this actually quite sweet and endearing coming-of-age story, but every time they overcome an obstacle, you're sort of reminded they're going to join the Islamic State. It's this weird, oh, it's good that they got out of that situation. Oh, wait, actually, they should have gotten caught and sent home. What's going on here? So it's a really weird tension, but I think if you watch it, you'll maybe see what I mean.
Yeah, you end up rooting for them, regardless of their motives.
Yeah, but you shouldn't, and it's really grim. And I think it serves to shine a light on, because you hear about these reports of people fleeing their homes and so on to join the Islamic State, getting groomed online for it and stuff. But you don't really get the nuance of what that means for the people that are doing it. So like these young girls, they just act like teenage girls. They bicker and talk about boys and all this kind of stuff. And there's plenty of moments of normalcy. So outwardly, they don't seem brainwashed. Outwardly, they just seem normal. It's interesting they have all these practiced stories that they're going to tell about where they're going and why they're going there to get people away from the truth. It's just a really fascinating contrast throughout the film, and it's really arresting, and I found it really effective.
That sounds pretty cool.
Another one is Islands, which I believe is out already. I didn't get around to reviewing it. It's about this washed-up tennis player that's become a tennis coach or runs the tennis bit in a holiday resort, and he gets involved with his family when the dad disappears and weird stuff happens. In some ways it's about the tension, I'm using the word tension a lot, but it's about these animosities and tensions that erupt when you're just on holiday.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're confined with your family or whoever for a long period of time, you just get on each other's nerves, and it sort of amplifies that to the extreme and adds in this disappearance plot that is really well done. It's a very good movie. I wish I'd gotten around to reviewing it, but maybe it's too late now.
It's never too late to put your own in.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I also saw A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which was Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie revisiting their past and analysing the mistakes or triumphs they had in their past and evaluating their past relationships before they maybe decide to take a plunge together. It's quite schmaltzy and obvious, but I had a good time with it to some extent. I think the two of them carry it very well, even if the plot was very philosophical. It's one of those films where they spell out so much in dialogue that they don't need to spell out in dialogue, but it was okay.
It was a nice time at the movies.
To an extent, but it was also one of those where I was painfully aware of what it was doing, so I was lifted out of it, and that distracted me. But if you're into people making long speeches about how their feelings changed and things as they learned as they were growing up, then it could be for you. I saw Caught Stealing, which was Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz, among others, and a cat. It was quite a prominent cat appearance, which I quite liked. I thought it was really good. Austin Butler's very good, and the film was enjoyable. I can't remember too much about it, weirdly, but I remember feeling quite fondly about it. The Naked Gun, Liam Neeson, The Naked Gun, that was a while ago now. I was going to talk about it last month. Very funny. I had a good time. I laughed throughout. It's tight 90. It's like the classic Naked Gun in the sense of there is no logic in the scene beyond what's funny.
I've seen a couple of clips that are very funny. One joke that I did laugh out loud on, seeing it on Twitter, where he's kicking the window out of his car and then two people are carrying a replacement car window across the street. And he just drives on and it seals immediately and he's just trapped back in.
There's a great ongoing joke about getting handed coffee. They'll walk into a scene with a coffee, throw it away, and then get handed another coffee or whatever. It's good.
It looked like it was a very goofy, fun time.
Yeah, it doesn't hang around for too long. It's funny. Does it reach the heights of the original? Probably not, but
as long as it's funny, that's all a joke has to be.
Yeah. Liam Neeson's deadpan approach to telling jokes was very good. And it's weird because the films are only 30 years old or whatever, the original Naked Gun. And it's almost like the role of Frank Drebin Jr. was written for a 30-year-old, and it's Liam Neeson. That joke comes into play in a really amazing way at some point in the movie. I won't spoil what the gag is, but when you see it, you'll be like, he seems a bit old to be into this sort of thing. But if you follow the timeline of the old movies, young Frank Drebin would be not Liam Neeson's age.
Okay, I don't think I've seen any of the originals, but yeah, I did hear good things about this revamp.
And I actually watched a Netflix movie, which is odd, because I very rarely do that because I don't have Netflix. I found a way. It was called The Wrong Paris. It starred Miranda Cosgrove.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this.
It's quite ludicrous. Basically, she wants to go and study in art school in Paris because apparently we're back to that trope. The girl wants to go to art school in Paris. In order to do that, she decides to go on the Bachelor type reality show because they're supposed to be filming in Paris, but they're actually filming in Paris, Texas, rather than Paris, France. But she stays on because she needs the money. And would you believe it, she starts to fall for the Bachelor in the show.
That reminds me of something in my life. I remember when I was applying to universities, and I did briefly consider applying to the Oxford College of Art, which isn't part of Oxford University. It's just like an A-level college level. Because I'd be able to get in and be like, yeah, I studied at Oxford. As long as nobody asked me any follow-up questions, they'd be like, oh, you must be pretty smart. It's like, no, I'm...
Oxford with an asterisk.
Yeah, I studied at Oxford. What did you study? How to work in the Tesco's in Oxford.
And that's about it for what I've seen in terms of what I can remember to talk about. So let's move on to plugs. Do you have anything to plug?
Nope.
Nothing. Okay. Not much we can do with that.
No, I don't podcast, so I appear in nothing other than if you turn up to my work and buy a latte off me or this. Otherwise, stay away from me.
Yeah, we'll get you more things to plug in future. We have plans for episodes that you're going to be on.
We have plans, yeah. Can plug things that eventually we'll plan to do something.
For me, it's We Are Starfleet over on the Film Stories and Podcast Network. We're quite active at the minute. We've done quite a lot on Strange New World Season 3, and there's a couple of series of things that we're going to cover as part of the Star Trek universe that I have created. So there's them upcoming. I don't know if I'll be hosting them all. I bloody hope not, because there's quite a few things to discuss, but that'll be happening. So go over there. You can catch me there. I'm also appearing on other things on the Film Stories Podcast Network. I forget what's coming out when and what's been out and so on, but I'm there quite often, filling in and talking about stuff. Okay, let's move on to trailers. We have a selection of those. Some of these might have been from August, actually. Let's start off with a little bit of Sydney Sweeney. She's doing quite a lot, or going to be doing quite a lot. We'll start with The Housemaids. So what do you think of this trailer for The Housemaid, starring Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney?
It covers the beats of what you expect this sort of trailer to be. There's a house that seems all normal and maybe it isn't. It is one that kind of glazed over a little bit. I do think the character that Sydney Sweeney's playing has probably got more going on, or not as innocent as the trailer suggests. I think it's based on a book.
It's based on a book, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not been aware of it. But she has a certain timidness or a quietness that seems either not natural or keeps very low-key, which is suspicious. So everyone's a little bit suspicious. There's some typical October's coming trailer beats. I'm not exactly running to book my ticket.
Amanda Seyfried seems quite terrifying.
Yeah, she's doing all the right moves. She's doing the off-putting, fake-friendly, fake-safe thing.
I'm getting more than a hint of it being about class. It seems to be there is a power play in there.
I think so, yeah.
So Sydney Sweeney is of a lower class than Amanda Seyfried and her husband because they're employing her, of course, and she's effectively the help. We have Brandon Sklenar, who is the current Batman fan cast for some reason.
Is he the husband?
Yeah. People are fan casting him as James Gunn's Batman for some reason.
There's a scene where they show her room, and it's this attic lodge room. And I was like, that looks pretty lovely. I don't know if this is American style size that we're used to. We just kind of squash into whatever space we're given. I think the intention is, it's only a small room. And she's like, yeah, it's perfect. I'm like, yeah, it is perfect. It's got a nice bed. It's quite a nice location. Like, looks quite bright. Nice sort of wooden features. Yeah, it's great. Great room. That's like £900 a month in Edinburgh for that room, at least, without bills.
Yeah, it's Paul Feig directing it, and I'm not usually a fan of his, so who knows. Well, I've not seen it, but he did the Ghostbusters reboot.
The current gen reboot.
No, he did the all-female one that everybody hates.
Oh, the 2016 one.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say whether I like it or not.
Yeah, neither have I.
But I'm not a fan of his. I didn't like Spy. I don't think it was that funny, and other stuff that I can't remember. But I'm not usually a fan. I don't know what this will be like. But I'll probably watch it because I like Sydney Sweeney and I like Amanda Seyfried. So it'll be a Saturday afternoon at the cinema type fill some time for me. Still with Sydney Sweeney, we're on Christie, which is an MMA film, and it's a real physical transformation for her to be in this role. This feels like a prestige awards bid type move for her. You find that actors tend to do this because you had Zac Efron do that for the Iron, whatever it was.
Giant.
Yeah, the Iron Giant. Yeah, it was what a transformation.
The
for
only film I
that
can
one.
think of.
Iron Claw, was it?
I'm not sure.
That one, anyway. That one where he's fighting. And The Rock as well. He's doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the obvious parallel here is that The Rock's the Smashing Machine, which is similar vibes.
Yeah. Do you think we can have a crossover where Sydney Sweeney fights The Rock?
The Smashing Machine versus this movie's name, Dawn of Justice. Maybe. If they both do well, that's the obvious next.
I don't know if the real people ever cross paths. I've no idea. Incidentally, The Rock turning up at Venice, half the size he usually is. That was insane to see.
Yeah, but it's not an unhealthy look. I think it just looks like he's just becoming human.
It looks like he just took off a muscle suit.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It's so weird. It's just because we're not used to seeing it. But maybe he's like, I'm in my 50s now and I can't keep putting my heart through this much.
Yeah, it's like I'm a dad. I've got to look after my kids. I can't just go to the gym at like 3 a.m. till 6 p.m. every day.
Yeah. Dave Bautista's done something similar. He's lost a lot of mass because he wants to be a serious actor.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of a positive swing because, you know, not everyone has to become absolutely shredded. They can just be normal.
In terms of this movie, I think Sydney Sweeney has the ability to pull off what she might be trying to do here, but I'm also not sure if this will be the one for her. The trailer looks pretty cookie cutter for these sorts of movies, I think. I didn't really get anything different than, say, The Smashing Machine or The Iron Claw, Iron Giant, whatever it was called.
Yeah, I don't watch many movies, so sports ones, but based on we saw the Smashing Machine trailer fairly recently, it looks kind of like this.
Yeah.
It's not going too far outside the formula of what I guess was started with Rocky or that sort of era.
If someone wants to fight, undergoes trials while they try to fight, possibly wins.
Yeah, but their resilience and their determination will probably get them somewhere.
Next up, we have Die My Love, and I have to describe what this film's about because the trailer doesn't. It centres around a new mother who develops postpartum depression and enters psychosis. I don't think the trailer communicates that, but you have Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence. Robert Pattinson going back into his weird indie cocoon that he was in for a while.
This trailer was fairly off-putting. It reminded me of probably a few years ago now, there was a film called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was a Charlie Kaufman, and that was just terrible. But I remember being like, the trailer's not giving anything away. It's all odd angles and bright, saturated thing. And I kind of got a vibe of that. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to care about this.
It feels like it'll be too uncomfortable to actually sit and watch.
Who was it who said we saw Simon Pegg? Sometimes films are meant to be uncomfortable. It doesn't look interesting either. I think if it's going to be uncomfortable, it has to have a real pain's an uncomfortable film, or The Long Walk is an uncomfortable film, but they're captivating. This just looks like uncomfortable so intelligent people can be like, oh yeah, I saw that. It really, real eye-opener.
It is only a minute, 20 seconds long as a trailer, so maybe there is more to dig into when you actually watch it. I don't think it's a good trailer.
Yeah, I'd say almost immediately forgettable. Watching it as just a non-cinephile, it's like, yeah, whatever was the outcome.
Next up, we have Rental Family, which is Brendan Fraser playing an actor that's so desperate for a job that he'll do anything, which includes being whatever people need him to be.
Yeah, method acting for husbands, wives, daughters, friends.
I think it's a really interesting idea about finding or manufacturing the missing piece that you might have.
Yeah, it's quite charming. It has Brendan Fraser doing his schmucks sort of thing. The slight self-deprecating but wholesome idea of this job is to fill the void in people's lives, whether they're lonely or they're just building themselves or just need someone to talk to. So this had quite a bit of charm to it. It's set in, I think, Japan.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a cultural clash there, isn't there? Because Brendan Fraser is in Japan.
As they say, oh, well, why did you pick me? We need the token white guy for the role. So it's also his sort of fish out of water. He's having to sort of be a chameleon to fit into this society.
I hope it's better than The Whale. I did not like The Whale.
I've not seen any of this. I've not seen the modern re-emergence of Brendan Fraser. I've missed everything.
I haven't seen him in much outside of the stuff that he was known for.
He was in The Whale and he wasn't Killer Moth or whichever role he ended up not playing in Batgirl.
Yes.
And I think he's been something else.
He's Firefly, wasn't he?
One of the winged ones, yeah.
And the Mummy movies, they're classics. The two of them. There's only two of them. There's rumours about a third one, but it never happened.
I've not heard of it either.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. And there's other things like Looney Tunes Back in Action, which is hilarious.
George of the Jungle.
Yes, that was him. Brendan Fraser's good.
Yeah.
No issues with him in The Whale, I just did not like it.
That's fair. I never got around to it.
There was a good line in this trailer that I noted down where he says, sometimes it's okay to pretend, which of course, for an actor, you would think that. But
Yeah.
it's quite a nice sentiment about sometimes trying to force a connection can end up creating a meaningful one. Getting outside your comfort zone and connecting with people in different ways can be rewarding. I feel like there's going to be a lot to say about that once it's all said and done. Hopefully it'll be done in quite a digestible, nice way.
Yeah, it looks like that kind of thing.
A bit more serious, we have Nia DaCosta's Hedda, where you have Tessa Thompson playing the titular character, based on a play about the experiences of the title character Hedda, the daughter of a general who's trapped in a marriage and a house that she doesn't want. These sorts of ideas are always timely, trapped in situations you aren't happy with, and how self-destructive that makes you feel, and how suffocating that all is. It seems like that's all here. Tessa Thompson's great. She's always great and stuff.
Yeah, it has, I'd say, a surprising chaotic nature to it. I don't think I can tell what time zone it's set in, but it feels like it's an oldie-fashioned world that's thrown into the chaos with the emergence of an actress I don't recognise, but who seems to upset the status quo.
Nia DaCosta, who directed The Marvels, sort of. She took the hit, didn't she? She took the blame.
I think I was going to say she took the check.
Well, she did that too. I really like her work. When I was at the film festival, she did an in-person event where she was doing a Q&A with mostly the journalist that was speaking to her. But she was really fascinating about everything that she's been through and everything that she's worked on. And she was candid about her Marvel experience while also being respectful about it, which I thought was really interesting. She told the truth, but she told it in a way that made it seem like she wasn't complaining. She said she loved the opportunity and stuff. And she was talking about Hedda and talking about Tessa Thompson was the only choice because she's worked with her before and they're really good friends and so on. That's why you have the Valkyrie cameo in the Marvels rather than they've decided they need a Valkyrie cameo in the Marvels. It's because they're friends and it's like a favour type situation. So yeah, it seems like Tessa Thompson will just be Nia DaCosta's person.
Yeah.
Like Michael B. Jordan with Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, they just work together. They're buddies, all like all of Wes Anderson's movies and all of his friends.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be in it. Bill Murray's always going to be in this. He's happy just being in whatever. He doesn't need a script. He's just like, yeah, sure. Let me know when you start filming, I'll turn up.
It looks really hard-hitting and challenging, which could be good.
Yeah, it looks very fun.
Still Nia DaCosta. We have 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, the sequel to 28 Years Later, and technically the fourth film, not technically, it is the fourth film in the 28
franchise, yeah.
I really liked 28 Years Later. It was really good. It's a different director. It was Danny Boyle that did that. In this trailer, it's similar to the trailer for that movie where it's very mood-based. It doesn't really give you much away, but you see Ralph Fiennes, you see his Pillars of Skulls and the suggestion of the Jimmies. Have you seen 28 Years Later?
No, I've not seen any of them.
Okay.
I'm aware of it made an impact when the first one, 28 Days Later, came out, but I've not seen the months and years, is it? Or weeks and years?
There's days, weeks, and then years.
Days, weeks and years,
They skip months, and it's dubious as to whether weeks is even canon to this collection of movies. I think it's referenced in 28 Years Later, but only in like one line, so it is what it is, but definitely worth watching. Certainly with 28 Days Later, if you really like really scrappy ghetto horror, there's a 4K release coming out, but the 4K release is going to look like crap because it was filmed on handheld video cameras.
Yeah, it's like guerrilla filmmaking style.
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema and I really noticed that because they re-released it and I was like, oh my God, this has not aged well, like visually. But it's also part of the charm.
Yeah.
Because it looks deliberately scrappy. Christopher Eccleston's in it, Cillian Murphy, all really young as they were. And 28 Years Later, you've got Aaron Taylor-Johnson, you've got the young guy whose name I forget, and Jodie Comer. It's very good. I would recommend watching all of them. This will be great, I hope.
And this one has the return of Cillian Murphy?
I think it's the next one. Maybe he has a small role in this one.
It's not his film, but he might have a post-credits sort of thing, or maybe a bit more than a post-credits.
Yeah. The next one is reportedly his movie.
Okay, no.
It's quite good that you have Danny Boyle coming back for years later, the first one, and then he hands it over to Nia DaCosta, so you're going to get a different flavour for all three of them.
Yeah, it's good to make it feel like more of a world as opposed to just these characters. So that also means it's good to get other directors and stuff to focus on what they'd want to see in, or what they'd want to focus on in this apocalypse.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good idea. It's not long till it's out. We'll stick on horror as a theme for the moment. We'll do The Bride next, which is a Bride of Frankenstein story. It's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, and her brother Jake is also in it, supporting the family. The theme I was picking up from here is it might be about trying to force people to live up to your expectations and then not being able to do that. People are people. They'll do other things. They'll go in directions you don't want them to or don't imagine they will. And you have this idea of quite simply creating the perfect mate.
Yeah, and it seems to be focused on identity and
Agency.
self, doing crimes.
Christian Bale is the monster.
Christian Bale just being a big old freak.
I heard he actually stitched parts of corpses to himself to prepare. Full method.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't be a weirdo.
I don't think he actually did that, but he's usually quite method, so maybe he did. Or maybe he just stitched himself. I have no idea. That's one of 2 Frankenstein movies that's coming out this year.
Yeah, I'll have to compare him with Jacob Elordi to the Frankenstein off.
It's just a shame that Andrew Garfield wasn't available to do the Del Toro Frankenstein.
How was he going to?
Yeah, that was the rumour that he was going to take on that role, but instead they got another tall guy.
That's the sort of role for time. Tall.
So I'm interested in this. I really like Jessie Buckley as well in whatever I've seen her in.
Yeah.
She's very good. I remember when they were announcing the Dark Universe and stuff, they were suggesting Angelina Jolie was going to be the Bride of Frankenstein. And you could see that in the classic look.
Yeah, with the lightning bolt hair and stuff. That makes sense.
Yeah, that was back when, I forget who it was that was supposed to be Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah, like Tom Hardy or something like that.
He was in the photo, I think, the big photo that they released that nobody was in the same room for.
Was it Javier Bardem?
Maybe, yeah, it might have been him.
He's tall.
Well, I think he was going to be Dr. Frankenstein rather than the monster.
Yeah, or Hyde.
No, it was Russell Crowe was Hyde.
Russell Crowe was Hyde.
Yeah, he was actually in the Tom Cruise The Mummy.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the Dark Universe. This isn't it.
Yeah, this isn't it.
But we'll keep getting these types of offshoots of Universal monsters.
They're sort of free to use, so there'll always be those.
Be interesting to see what Maggie Gyllenhaal will be like as a director as well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in a film in a while, I don't think.
I don't know what she's done, so...
The last film I saw her in that I can think of was the Channing Tatum White House movie. You know, when they made 2 White House invasion movies in the same year.
Oh, White House Down or London Has Fallen, all those ones.
Yeah, Channing Tatum and her, they were in White House Down, which was the Roland Emmerich movie. Olympus Has Fallen was the Jerry Butler one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Good Boy, which is a horror movie from a dog's perspective. I know you like dogs, so what do you think of this, seeing it all from the dog's eyes?
Yeah, this looks pretty terrifying. It's out really soon as well.
Yes, and apparently the number of hits on doesthedogdie.com in relation to this movie was off the charts.
I'm assuming the dog, if it's from the dog's perspective, the dog has to at least make it to the end of the movie.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Otherwise, just the dog gets done in immediately or something, then it's just looking up at the sky for a bit. Or on like a table in a vet. It's a bit of a depressing film.
Well, it's not quite from the dog's vision, because of course you see the dog, yeah. And it would have to be in black and white, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you follow the dog's journey.
Yeah. And I wonder if they'll play into the helplessness because it's a dog and maybe just not understanding what's going on because it's a dog.
Yeah, there's an extra level of vulnerability because you're going from a very simple creature, bark at the enemy and panic. And it's going from just pure emotion and immediate reactions. You know, I don't think it's going to be Kelvin McAllistering its way around the house. That's certainly very unique, very unsettling. This is a very solid trailer and a very interesting idea.
We've seen in other horror movies as well where dogs and cats are able to sense presences, ghosts and things that humans can't. So maybe there'll be a bit of that.
There might be a bit of that. You might lean into the perceived sort of extrasensory or extra awareness that animals have with the paranormal.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the gimmick is used well.
Yeah, well, we'll find out very soon.
All right, let's move on to Robin Hood. We have another Robin Hood story on MGM Plus, a streaming service that apparently exists. This one has Sean Bean as the Sheriff of Nottingham, which is quite cool. He's really chewing some scenery there. As with a lot of things, this can be a timely story about standing up against oppression or the voiceless having a voice and being heard and protesting corruption and so forth.
Yeah, fighting against the man.
Yeah, Jack Patton, who plays Robin Hood, has done basically nothing. I looked at his IMDb, he has 1 credit before this one.
Robin Hood, it's kind of like it's not a tale as old as time, but everyone knows what Robin Hood is.
You get the gist, yeah.
He's good at archery. There's a sheriff and a king, and they're bleeding people dry, so it's like, well, it's justified burglary because we're robbing the rich to feed the poor.
I am an honourable thief, yes.
Yeah.
Did you see the Taron Egerton silly superhero-esque one that had Jamie Foxx in it?
I did it, the one with Two-Face. Isn't it? It ends with essentially they make Two-Face.
Oh, yeah, it's Will Scarlet, but he's disfigured face. I didn't remember that, but I enjoyed it. It was produced by the same people that make Arrow, and it was very much Arrow. As in Robin Hood comes back from a long time away, discovers everything has gone to pot, and decides to pick up a bow and arrow and fight for the downtrodden.
My big three, the things I base all Robin Hood on, is either Maid Marian and Her Merry Men from the 90s with Tony Robinson as the sheriff, the Robin Hood Disney movie with the foxes with Sir Hiss, and that BBC Robin Hood from like 2007, Richard Armitage was the sheriff of Nottingham, I think. That's my bandwidth. And this looks a bit more like the 2007.
Not Kevin Costner?
Oh, Prince of Thieves. I don't think I've seen that.
You just know the Bryan Adams song.
I know the Bryan Adams song. My Robin Hoods, it's those three. It's either the Maid Marian animated or 2007.
I'd recommend watching the Taron Egerton one if you just want to see something that's complete trash, but kind of fun trash. It's good when it's sit and have a couple of beers and just take in.
Yeah.
It's completely silly, but I liked it. And this one, will I give it a look? I might actually.
Maybe, if you subscribe to MGM Plus.
I don't think you can in this country.
The future home of Moneypenny and Felix Leiter. Or...
No, that'll be Amazon.
Isn't it Amazon but via MGM? Or is it just straight up Amazon?
I think it's straight to Amazon.
Okay.
I think you can get add-ons to Prime that's some of these streaming services that nobody has. Maybe I'll get a trial and give this a look. I think it looks all right. It'll be interesting to see Jack Patton in his breakout role.
Yeah.
What a glow up from guest starring in something to this.
Oh, it's worked before.
This is the show that nobody will watch because no one knows where it is or that it's on other than us. We're fighting the power by telling you that it exists. Next up, we have Is This Thing On, which is directed by Bradley Cooper, starring Will Arnett as a comedian that just tells true stories about his horrible life and everybody laughs at them, which is kind of depressing.
It's live action BoJack Horseman.
Well, I've never seen that, but yeah.
That's just Will Arnett's a depressed horse. And this is just Will Arnett's just a depressed man.
Bradley Cooper's in it as well because he can't resist putting himself in his own movies.
It's got a certain guerrilla charm. Filmed in bars. There's a vibe of life can be a bit of a pain sometimes, but you deal with the hand you got. It's got a certain appeal.
And Will Arnett still being funny, but with a completely different energy to what you're used to with him as well.
I think the thing is because I mostly know him as BoJack Horseman or Lego Batman.
Was Will Arnett the voice of BoJack Horseman?
He's BoJack Horseman, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I've never seen this.
I really enjoyed BoJack Horseman back in the day. My Will Arnett-ometer, this seems fairly standard for what I've seen him do, which is very limited.
See, I'm used to things like Arrested Development or something like that, where he's very manic, whereas this, he's not at all manic.
He's very subdued, yeah.
He's just depressed and telling jokes. Well, that's what a lot of comedians talk about, the fact that the most depressed people try and make people laugh. That's what Robin Williams would say, apparently. He's the only one not laughing.
Yeah, I'm reading Alan Davis's autobiography at the moment. He was a stand-up as well, called White Male Stand-Up. I know him more as Jonathan Creek. And yeah, it's another one of these where it's like, oh no, his life was just awful. So it's like, I'll make jokes because it's kind of a lot of nihilistic way. It does seem to be a bit of a trend.
We shouldn't laugh, but it is also funny. But that's kind of the point, isn't it?
It seems to be a thing, yeah. A lot of comedy or stand-up or things, it comes from an inner rage or an inner trauma that gets them to the point where they can express themselves or go on stage and see life from a different perspective that we all find funny.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our announcement for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's just an announcement, but it shows some footage and announces that's what it's called. I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was pretty good. So I have no reason to doubt that this one will be the same.
I know very little about Mario. Where in the lineage was the Super Mario Galaxy game?
It was the Wii one.
Okay.
Motion controls, and they did cool stuff with gravity and so on. You could run on upside down on small planets.
Yeah, I was going to ask what the gimmick... So it's platforming, but with more dimensions.
Yeah, with more gravity and stuff. It was very good. I, for whatever reason, decided I was going to 100% it back when I was playing it, and there's some levels where it took me a lot of repeats to do it. It was getting very frustrating, but the difficulty level can be ramped right up if you're really going for gold, so to speak. When the level starts with a 1-up near the beginning, you know it's going to be a toughie.
Yeah.
That's the game. I thought the first film was very good in terms of adapting all the crazy Mario concepts and making it all sort of make sense. Chris Pratt was fine as Mario. You had Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, I think.
Charlie Day was Luigi, I remember that.
Yeah, it makes sense they're making another one of these because it made all of the money. Just all of it.
Yeah, it was immediately greenlight another one.
Make it as quickly as possible, which may mean that the quality will suffer because they've just rushed it. Who knows?
Well, I mean, yeah, at the moment this is a mere teaser, so we will have to wait and see.
We will. Move on to Dust Bunny, which is your favourite Mads Mikkelsen playing a monster hunter.
I didn't realise till halfway through that it's from Brian Fuller, and I was like, I've heard of him. It's like, oh, Hannibal. I loved Hannibal.
Yeah, and that was him and Mads Mikkelsen teamed up on that.
That was him and Mads Mikkelsen, yeah. And it's the visual style is very immediate. Once you've got, oh yeah, this is a weird, wacky visual storytelling method.
It looks like it's about found family as well.
Yeah, it has a slight oddball premise of Mads Mikkelsen is hired to fight the monsters the girl's seeing, and the monsters may be an awful real-life metaphor, but also it's a bit unclear on the level of reality we're operating on.
It could be she is saved from the literal and figurative monsters in her life.
Exactly, yeah. It's high visual, high spectacle filmmaking. Mads Mikkelsen's always great. It's got Sigourney Weaver in as well.
I didn't get him confused with Ben Mendelsohn this time.
You didn't get him confused with Ben Mendelsohn. I didn't get whichever guy we talked about earlier confused with the other guy who looks like George of the Jungle.
Nathan Fillion.
We're both making great strides.
Brendan Fraser is not Green Lantern.
He's not Green Lantern.
At least not so far.
But yeah, this looks really fun.
Rogue One was very confusing for me. You had Mads Mikkelsen and Ben Mendelsohn sharing a scene, and I'm like, these are the same person.
Yeah, one of them had a cape and one of them with a farm.
It's because they both have Sun as their surname. I think that's why I get it mixed up. But it looks pretty good. Mads Mikkelsen tends to do these sort of...
He likes the silly roles.
Yeah, he does. He's one of those actors that's a lot better than most of the crap he turns up in as well. He has a few of those roles where it's, well, why are you in this?
Yeah, I think he's just happy being in them, and he makes the best of what he's given sometimes.
The Marvel Universe wasted him with whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, it was Kai Silius.
They could have had him as a serious villain.
It could have been Doctor Doom. Was it he went for Reed Richards? It's like, pretend your arms really long, and he's like, nah. I think it was Van Forstick. I mean, you're thinking of a Doctor Doom, but he went for Reed Richards. It's like, oh, can you do this audition, but pretend your arms are like big wiggly noodles, whatever. He's like, nah, I can't. I don't know how I'd pretend to do that or how that would work in an audition. I was like, I'll leave, actually, I'm good. I'm fine. I'll do something else.
Let's move on to Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, the third in the Knives Out franchise.
We're getting spooky. We should know of the September news. Spooky season's on the way, so everything's sort of leaning spooky.
Some of it, anyway. The trailer is very proud of all the names they have attached, as usual. The look for Benoit Blanc in this one is good.
I think great. Yeah, I really like this look.
Jeremy Renner, the actor, exists in the Knives Out universe, but now Jeremy Renner is in it playing a character, unless he's playing himself.
It's not clear yet, but I'm sure they'll make a reference to Jeremy Renner's hot sauce. It will come up in some form.
Yeah. And maybe they're just doing that to mess with us. There's a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's kind of spooky.
Andrew Scott dressed as a priest again, maybe.
He's not the hot priest, but I think there is another hotter priest in this. But he's in there. Yeah, Andrew Scott's involved.
Josh Brolin. I'm sure it'll be clever. I thought the other two were clever. Have you seen both of them?
Oh yeah, I've seen both. I really enjoyed both of them.
Me too. I think Rian Johnson's really good at that Agatha Christie-esque.
Yeah, he's got that down. The classic dude on it. But with a more modern styling, a sharper character tone than some other modern soft crime or cozy crime style movies.
Yes, this will be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it will actually get a cinema release here. I did want to go and see it as part of the London Film Festival because they're doing partner screenings and one of them's in Edinburgh, but it's sold out instantly, so no chance.
Yeah, it would.
But I'm hoping it'll come out in the cinema. It'll probably be all spoiled by then because people will be seeing it like next week as we record.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful.
Move on to Wicked for Good, which is the sequel to Wicked and the second act of the stage show. The second act of Wicked is widely regarded as being far weaker than the first, so that'll be interesting. I probably won't be seeing this because I didn't enjoy the first movie.
I enjoyed the stage play.
I've seen the stage play and I liked that.
Didn't see the film because I didn't get around to it. And it wasn't an immediate rush out to go see. Without giving too much away, this has to tie in Wicked into the start of where Wizard of Oz gets to.
Yeah, I think the events of Wizard of Oz happen within the context of this story.
Yeah, it's got to set that universe up as we recognise it when Dorothy arrives. And it looks like in this movie, they're jumping into that element as well.
The first movie, it starts with Glinda saying, the Wicked Witch is dead. A young girl spilled water on her and she died or whatever. And we're building up to that point.
Yeah, so a lot of the second half is setting the stage, but adding a few twists and turns along the way to the established characters and stretch them out a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one, so that'll be a problem. Well, it wouldn't be a problem. I just won't watch it.
Visual-wise, it looks great. I'm going to throw everything at it. It did well, quite well received. So for fans of the stage play who enjoyed the film, it was quite highly anticipated, but I don't have too much first ones. Don't have too much to say, really.
I don't have that much to say other than I'm probably not going to see it.
Good for those who are excited.
And it's big news, so it's there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Anaconda, which is a remake with a bit of a twist, as in it's people that love the movie that are doing a remake of the movie. It actually reminds me a bit of, including Jack Black, Be Kind Rewind, just remaking classics in your own style. But part of the problem is I felt that Minecraft was too much Jack Black for me, and I'm a little bit put off.
Yeah, Jack Black's the new rock, as in people are like, oh, it's Jack Black again.
Yeah.
Having not seen Anaconda, not only am I out of the loop for this thing, it's very difficult to go like, okay, these people love this movie I haven't seen and they're remaking it.
But you can get the gist of what Anaconda's about without having seen it. Big snake.
Yeah, big snake, but would I watch a movie about people who loved a movie I haven't seen without seeing the movie? Probably not.
It's just an excuse for them to get attacked by a big snake. That's all it is. So if you want to see people attacked by a big snake, then you can watch this. Paul Rudd is good, but Jack Black, I feel like he's just going to irritate me.
I think just watch any other thing with a snake in it.
You just watch the original.
Just watch Anaconda, Snake on the Plane, Snake Eater. You could play the new Snake Eater.
Which I have.
Yeah, which I have. And you can eat snakes.
There aren't really any big snakes in that. There's just normal sized snakes.
I remember there being the legendary snake that I read about in the magazine at the time.
The Tsuchinoko.
The Tsuchinoko, yeah.
It's easy to catch. You just put a mouse trap down at a particular spot and then keep leaving and re-entering until you catch it.
I remember rolling around in the long grass animation for ages trying to find this big fat snake just for no one to be impressed with. I found the legendary snake in Snake Eater.
Well, it's a mouse trap you need to use. The video game tip portion of the podcast. One note I put is these characters seem to be contenders for a Darwin Award. They're pretty much asking to be eaten by large snakes.
I suppose that's kind of the setup. Yeah, if you're going to recreate a film where people get attacked by a snake with not much prep or knowledge, well, you're just walking into the trap.
Idiots. Please eat Jack Black. It looks okay, though, if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I do. I do enjoy a bit of a creature feature.
Yeah, I think a certain audience for this that I am not, I've not got the reference other than Big Snake.
Which is all you really need.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Now You See Me, Now You Don't, the third movie in the Now You See Me franchise, which this one's a bit of a delay from the second one. It's been a few years.
A bit of a delay, a bit of a transition, yeah. We're moving on from the original Horsemen and we're introducing a new gang.
Well, I did wonder about that because we have had a slew of passing the torch movies that ended up being actually we're keeping the torch movies. I wonder if that's what this is going to be. We have the younger Horsemen, but no, we're the original and we're back. We're just going to stay this way.
This is more, here's the old guard, here's the new guard. I don't know if it will be such as patching the torch. From the trailer, if you've watched either of them, I'm quite fan.
I've seen the two, yeah.
But this kind of starts the same way the second one starts anyway, where it's like, oh, I thought you guys split up. It's like, oh, split.
Yeah, we're always splitting up.
They get a tarot card or a dice or something. And I really enjoy these films. They're fast and furious, but magic.
They're so dumb.
They're dumb.
They're so incredibly dumb.
My speculation is Mark Ruffalo isn't in the film that we're aware, and I think the character may be dead.
He's in the credits in IMDb, but that doesn't make any difference, I guess.
Yeah, because so we have Thaddeus, which is Morgan Freeman's character, the rivals. And Jesse Eisenberg said, a great man once said, don't say you're the smartest person in the room, you have to show it. It feels very much like when they reference Paul Walker in Fast and Furious movies, they are talking in the terms of a great man. I'm going to guess that because he's busy being Hulk in Spider-Man 4, that he's probably not going to be in this.
The young cast are good. You've got Justice Smith, you've got Ariana Greenblatt, and so on. They seem pretty good.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg still got that slightly irritated by everyone swagger. You've got Thingamajig wearing a hat, doing his normal thing. Woody Harrelson.
Isla Fisher, Dave Franco.
Yeah, all very recognisable. Morgan Freeman.
Daniel Radcliffe's there as well.
Don't miss him. He's in the trailer.
He's in this, yeah, he's in the trailer.
Oh, he is in this. Oh, perfect. I loved his character in the second one. He was brilliant.
The joke is, he was Harry Potter, but in this, he's not very good at magic.
Yeah, he was Elon Musk, essentially. And yeah, we get another heist. So I'm very excited. This comes out 4 days before my birthday, and I know exactly what I will be doing on my birthday.
You'll be on a podcast sometime after and be like, oh, I wish I'd watched that.
I'll see it go by on the bus. I was like, oh, yeah, that came out. I'll catch it on Netflix.
You'll think about it.
This is a big film of the year for me, the last anticipated one to come along, and looks fun.
I'll need to rewatch the first two because I don't remember them. I just remember them being stupid.
They're entertaining. They're very entertaining. I'm sure practicing magicians and sleight of hand experts will be like, nah, this is laughable, but the common garden idiot that likes watching slick things and heists is like, yeah, perfect, great.
It's one of those you watch it and you're like, you're not even pretending that's an illusion you could pull off anymore.
Yeah, and that's all part of the fun as well. I kind of enjoy that element, so I'm very excited for this.
Before we get to our next trailer, I will just ask you this. What do Downton Abbey and Star Wars have in common?
Maggie Smith? Has she been in them?
No, it's that they both are releasing finales to TV shows in the cinema.
Yes.
Which brings us on to The Mandalorian and Grogu, the cinematic finale to The Mandalorian TV show.
So for context, me and you have seen, I think, 3 episodes of Series 1, and then we gave up because it was really boring.
Yeah.
And this is Series 5 or 6 or something. I think it's Series 5 of Mandalorian, but 6 or 7 if you include the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. I have no idea.
It's been on for ages anyway.
But the Book of Boba Fett does count. It's essential viewing.
Yeah, and the Filoni-verse elements, you got characters that have been introduced in all the other shows.
Your Bo-Katan and Ahsoka and so on. So the big question hanging over this film is, with it being a cinematic release, is it going to be doing enough to tempt people that haven't watched the show like us into watching this at the cinema? And the thing is, we have at least a passing interest in Star Wars, so in theory it should be able to get us to watch it.
Yeah.
But if you don't really have a passing interest in Star Wars, like people were there for The Force Awakens because it was a moment.
Yeah.
It was a moment in cinema and people were just there for it, whether they were really into Star Wars or not.
I wasn't into Star Wars and then got into it because I enjoyed The Force Awakens. But yeah, I was watching because oh, Star Wars is back. That's big.
You just wanted to be there when it happened.
Yeah, because everyone was going to go see it. It's like, well, go see it because literally everyone's seeing it.
Yeah, and this, I don't think it does anything to entice anyone that's not a fan of the show, which is really bizarre.
No, it's definitely a series sort of trailer. Just before we started recording, they announced that The Simpsons is getting a second movie sometime in the future. And I was thinking, my curiosity was piqued there. Oh yeah, I've not watched The Simpsons for 20 or so years. But if it came out in the cinema, I'd probably watch a Simpsons film. I wouldn't watch the rest of The Simpsons, but if the trailer was good, I'd watch a Simpsons film. I loved The Simpsons back in the day. And then I was thinking about that in relation to this. I stopped watching Star Wars. The last thing I saw was The Acolyte, which I think was last year.
Not that long ago.
Maybe a year ago, I was like, nah, I can't be bothered. I won't go to cinema to watch more Star Wars at the moment. I'm trying to think of, in terms of spectacle, there's AT-ATs doing a Minds of Moria style, walking along a chasm and one takes a fall, and you've got shredded Jabba the Hutt. I think it's called Roku the Hutt or something like that. The Mandalorian ship is back, the Razor Crest.
Sigourney Weaver again.
Sigourney Weaver. You've got lasers and spectacle and Star Wars-y stuff.
And a puppet, of course.
A puppet. There's probably a droid or something.
Babu Frick?
Babu Frick is there.
I hate that little twerp. I hate
Babu
him.
Frick's there for us Rise of Skywalker stands. I'd forgotten about Babu Frick until he turned up in the thingy, but I guess the puppet hasn't moulded yet. So yeah, sure, he's that. But in terms of what's there, if you haven't been keeping up with Mandalorian, it's pretty slim on the ground. At the same time, they released a trailer for Vision Series 3, I think. And one of the animated features also uses AT-ATs like bursting out of snow or that have been snowed under. Oh, it's kind of stolen your big visual and done a slightly more interesting version of it. And that's out next week on Disney+.
This baffles me because you're not going to get a wide audience in the cinema to watch this. I just don't think the interest's there. And it also looks like a Disney Plus show. I think it's going to look embarrassing in IMAX.
What would make sense is, you know how episode 5 of Ahsoka came out of the cinema? This feels more like it should be like one of those where it's a simulcast. You can watch The Mandalorian Grogu in the cinema, or you can watch it on Disney Plus, your choice. If you want the big screen experience, it's there, but if not, it'll be available on the same day at home.
It's going to be a flop, surely, isn't it? Theatrically.
Yeah, its audience is quite limited.
Yeah. To me, it only seems to appeal to people that have watched all of the show.
Yeah.
Which isn't me. So for the first time ever, I'm not turning up to the cinema to watch a Star Wars thing.
We'll have to look at the numbers for how Downton Abbey the finale did. Did that do well?
Well, apparently cinemas were absolutely packed for it. But the thing is, it does have a large niche audience that it managed to capture. It was the same when, like, say, Sex and the City came out. That show was huge. And everybody went to see it.
There's massive swaths of people who watch BBC at the proms and make a night of it and go around to each other's houses. It's got a hardcore fan base of, I assume, mostly retired people that can go to the cinema. But people who've been watching Mandalorian probably just skim it at the end of a series and it's in between a few other shows they're watching. They probably got like Severance on. They're like, oh, that's not out yet, so I'll finally catch up with.
Especially when broad interest was waning as it was going on anyway, because people were talking about that it was getting a lot worse as it was progressing. So this seems like a complete miscalculation on Disney's part.
Yeah, the time has sort of passed. Really, it should have been after like Series 2 when they introduced Luke Skywalker, because I remember that being massive.
Or just leave it on Disney Plus. Give us a Star Wars thing that everybody can watch at the cinema. This just doesn't make any sense to me. And if they'd somehow tooled it in such a way that they made it clear that don't worry about the TV show, this will make sense to you if you haven't seen it, Maybe a future trailer will try that tactic, but based on this, I don't care.
Nah, don't care. There is more Star Wars stuff. It seems to be returning to the cinema in the future with various announcements and things, but it's probably not this one that'll do it.
No, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will say, yes, I was wrong. Everybody watched this.
I won't know because I won't see it.
You'll get a sense of the box office numbers.
I'll get a sense of the numbers. And
I just won't be contributing to its box office.
no, but I'm sure I'll find out about it because, yeah, it's still Star Wars. Like, it's still like when a Marvel comes out and I missed that one, but I know the broad strokes of how well it did or what people thought of it.
There'll be a big twist where someone turns up, some cameo happens.
Someone will turn up, yeah.
All right, Zootopia 2. We have the final trailer for this. It's out in a couple of months. I loved the first Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia is great.
This looks like it's about more prejudice, this time against snakes. Snakes are bad, apparently.
Yeah, and reptiles is quite a segregation angle. This feels, not to get too here's the real world, but Disney got into a fair bit of flack recently because of some Trump stuff that I'm vaguely aware of. Stephen Colbert, one of them, was taken off air.
Jimmy Kimmel, yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel. And Disney, I think they also did something that people started saying, cancel your subscriptions.
Apparently the cancellation page crashed because so many people were flooding it.
I'm excited for this movie. This trailer looks good, but it feels like they've released this trailer as, hey, no, we still think segregation's bad. A bit of a course correction.
Disney are hilariously tone deaf on these things quite a lot of the time. They'll be releasing this content that's very much decrying the things that they as an organisation also seem to support. The example is you have the Jimmy Kimmel thing the same week that Andor wins Emmys. You have a show that's about resisting fascism, and then they're getting rid of a presenter who makes an innocuous comment about things that are going on. So yeah, there's very much a contrast between what some of their stuff is saying and what they're saying as an organisation.
Yeah, that was like my immediate reaction. I was like, okay, they're releasing this to kind of pull light back to them and be like, no, we're not all evil.
I honestly don't think that was the aim. I think that was just coincidence.
It's just a coincidence, yeah. It looks fairly fun. It's an easy win. Zootopia was really good. Like, everyone kind of liked it. Unlike some of the other things that Disney seems to be announcing, people aren't sad about more Zootopia in the same way that they're not so fussed on a Frozen 3 or a Toy Story 5.
I feel like Toy Story 5 is going to be a huge success. I've just got a feeling it's going to do Inside Out 2 money.
I do not look too much into it, but I remember it being announced with a little bit of a...
Yeah, but Twitter isn't real life.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't really judge how something will be received based on what morons are saying on Twitter. You just can't.
Yeah.
But this looks good. Animation's amazing. You have timely ideas in there again. I've used the word timely a few times in this podcast already. And if they hit the same social conscience that the first film does, or in the same way, then great. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All right, our last trailer. We have a trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash.
Yes.
Once again, visually it's impeccable, but I'm wondering what the story will be. I'm quite intrigued by this new threat about how humans can somehow breathe the air on Pandora. It says if they don't need to use masks, then they will just eradicate us and live here.
I'm very out the loop. I watched the first one in the cinema, and that's it. I've not seen The Way of the Water.
The second one is visually incredible, but was left a little bit cold by the story. If I was asked to tell you what that story is right now, I couldn't. But I do remember swimming with whales and so on. Although it's come back to the cinema, so I'll see it again in IMAX.
Yeah, so I don't have too much to say, because like the 28 Days Later, it's a few movies in, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Definitely one to see in 3D though, and that's rare to say.
Yeah, it looks like one where it's like you have to see all the spectacle. That's the point. So the biggest, most dimension available screen.
I'm sure it will be visually amazing, and it's, for me, a must-see in the cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, that is us done with trailers. Let's move on to some text news that we can talk about. We'll start with, as usual, our pillars of Marvel and DC. We'll start with Marvel, or we'll start with Marvel adjacent, actually. Spider-Punk animated feature from Daniel Kaluuya and Ajahn Singh in development at Sony. Plot details are under wraps, and there are no other details in place at this time. The assumption, of course, is that Kaluuya will reprise the role of Spider-Punk, which he played in Across the Spider-Verse, and will be in Beyond the Spider-Verse. The animation for Spider-Punk was incredible. The cut-out magazine style.
It reminds me of Nick Cage playing Spider-Man Noir. Everyone liked that Spider-Man in the first Spider-Verse, so they spin that off, in that case, as live action.
I think the Spider-Man Noir series is a different Spider-Man Noir, but it's still Nick Cage.
This feels like the same idea. It's like, okay, well, everyone liked Nick Cage's Spider-Man Noir, so we'll do something with him. Everyone liked Daniel Kaluuya's Spider-Punk, so let's do something with Spider-Punk.
Did you see Across the Spider-Verse?
I did.
It's so good.
It was very good, yeah, I was a big fan.
So this would be good. I do want a Spider-Gwen solo movie as well.
I don't know much about the other spiders. The Spider-Gwen was very good, yeah.
Like Steinfeld with that voice as well.
With her character so tied into the main narrative, that would be post Beyond the Spider-Verse, I imagine.
Probably. Because you get the summary of her career up to that point.
Yeah, the other ones, because they're ancillary, like Spider-Punk and, was it the Spider-Man of Mumbattan?
Yes.
You know, I really enjoyed. They feel more like they could sidestep away from the current conflict because they're not as emotionally connected to it. Whereas like Spider-Gwen, it'd be hard to sort of go like, this is how we've left Across the Spider-Verse. It doesn't feel like she's the sort of character that'd be like, oh, I'm now doing this for a bit. She's, you know, integral to this story. So yeah, maybe that'd be something they do later on down the line after the initial trilogy is wrapped up.
Well, I imagine that's what they're going to do with Punk as well. It'll be a story set after Beyond the Spider-Verse in his own universe, and he'll be doing whatever it is he does.
Yeah, but it also feels like with the anarchic nature of his, like Loki, if he was popped out of the current thing, he'd just sort of roll with the adventure and fight the regime of whatever new thing he's fallen into.
Yeah, but good that they're going to continue doing more fun animation things. The animation style for that was great. Although one thing about Across the Spider-Verse is it's quite visually tiring to watch. My eyes were tired the first time I watched it because there's just so much to take in.
You don't watch it often. I don't think I've seen either of them outside of the cinema because it's like an event film. See on the big screen, get sort of overwhelmed by it. Not in a horrible way, but there's so much in so different styles and clashing things and breathtaking animation that you get to like be overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
If you watched it on like your laptop, it wouldn't have the same force of nature.
Please don't watch it on your phone or your watch screen or whatever nonsense you do.
Yeah, I don't watch it on your watch.
All right, let's move on to the MCU. Spider-Man Brand New Day has another bit of casting. Marvin Jones III is going to be playing Tombstone. He has played Tombstone in the Spider-Man video game and the Spider-Man 2 video game.
And in the aforementioned Spider-Verse, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's done Tombstone. The interesting thing about him, he's actually an albino, so there's an element of sense being made there because Tombstone, he has that very white face, although I imagine they'll make him up so he has more of a grey colour palette. But he's really good. He was equivalent of the Kingpin in Black Lightning as well. Really good, really intimidating guy.
Yeah, at the moment we don't know much about Brand New Day.
Nope. We know the Punisher's in it. We don't even officially know the Hulk is in it.
We'd all be surprised if the Hulk isn't. Tom Holland's in it. That's about as much as we know.
Zendaya is in it, but in a smallish role, apparently. And seeing the set photos from Glasgow has me hyped for it more than any marketing ever would, because you get to see someone in a practical costume in a practical location doing actual stuff.
Just swinging around.
The costume looks really cool. I really hope they don't use CGI to get rid of all the creases and things.
Yeah, I don't know much about it in terms of costume. People have said in the Andrew Garfield one, it was that scene where you can see the back bit rippling in the wind and stuff.
That's immersive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit more tactile as opposed to the CGI suits that are quite cartoony.
Yeah. Tobias Whale was the character's name in Black Lightning. And I don't think he always went by Marvin Jones III. He was a rapper as well. I'm going to look that up. He was also known as Crondon. That's how he was credited on Black Lightning as well. But it seems like he's, at least for acting, going by his real name.
Yeah, or his acting name at the moment.
Call yourself whatever the hell you want, I don't care.
But yeah.
He's a good choice for that, and Tombstone is an interesting character. Sometimes he's an enforcer type, like Hammerhead, and sometimes he's an actual mob boss.
Yeah, so at the moment we don't know much of and what power this Tombstone wields, whether he's more of a low-level punk or a crime lord, or if he's muscle, or if he's a henchman and he's the heavy guns sort of guy that you bring out. We'll find out in not too long to wait.
A few months, yeah. July, it's out.
Yeah, so not far away.
Excited about it though. Like I say, Glasgow set photos have me hyped. The costume looks cool.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
Hopping over the fence to DC now, we have an announcement for the Superman sequel. It's going to be called Man of Tomorrow. The announcement was a picture that I believe Jim Lee drew.
I think there was a couple, but the main one is the Jim Lee one. So we see Lex in a power suit and Superman with a screwdriver. The implication they're a buddy, a reluctant team-up film is coming.
Yeah, James Gunn said it's as much a Lex movie as it is a Superman movie, which frustrates me a bit because I did not like Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor.
I'm the opposite. I think it's fun to have these two being forced to work together. There's only so many times you can want real estate in California. You got to do something with him.
And they'll work together for a bit and then Lex will betray him.
Yeah, he's obviously got a plan. I'm very excited. Jump into rampant speculation, but I think everyone's kind of in agreement. This seems like a Brainiac thing.
Was there the picture from the script? It was like a brain or something.
There was a dissection or side anatomical cuts of a brain, but slightly altered.
Isn't it amazing we've had like 8 Superman movies and Brainiac hasn't been in any of them?
Exactly. It's time to get a big on-screen, big cinema Brainiac.
He's appeared in live action twice, though. He was in Smallville and Krypton. He was awesome in Krypton. He looked so good.
Yeah, I remember the photos, but yeah, I think it's time to have a cinema Brainiac. More than Hazard, that's definitely where we should be going.
Then we need Mongol with Warworld and all that stuff.
Yeah, we've set up Bizarro, that's probably going to be coming. But I think this is really great news. Super excited.
Yeah, as you know, I'm a bit underwhelmed by James Gunn's Superman. I liked it, but I didn't love it. So do I think that sequel's going to be better? I have no idea. In a way, it feels a bit like Batman v Superman to me, as in it's diverting attention away from the rest of the cast again. Are we going to have another film where he appears as Clark Kent once, and that's it?
We'll have to wait and see.
Because I want to see the Clark Kent Daily Planet thing, and the current film just does not give you that, really.
I think announcing this was at the right time as well, because there's still a bit of hype around the film. Obviously, we've got the Supergirl film in the middle, but I think announcing this with the comic art, giving us quite a lot of info up top, gives us plenty of time to get excited about this. So I think this is a good move and quite a confident move as well.
James Gunn is insanely busy, isn't he? Because he did Creatures Commandos, he did Superman, he did Peacemaker, and now he's doing this, one after the other.
Yeah, no, busy being. He's probably been whittling this away for a couple of years. All positives from me.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's talk a little bit about Star Wars. So we talked about Star Wars going back into theatres, and this is one that might actually work. This one's Star Wars Starfighter. The latest announcement is that Matt Smith is playing the villain role.
Yeah, we have a villainous Matt Smith for real this time.
Yeah, because the rumour was he was going to be Rise of Skywalker as a young emperor or something, and that just didn't happen.
I don't know whether it was the backup or it was a flashback or something, but that never materialised. But I can see him being a Director Krennic style Imperial character.
There was also a picture of Ryan Gosling on water.
Yeah, this is set beyond 9, so we're in uncharted territory.
Yeah, it's like 5 years after Rise of Skywalker or something like that.
Yeah, so the timeline's a bit more open. It doesn't have to be bookended by existing stuff. It's the Wild West, so you got a bit more space to play with.
Ryan Gosling in the lead, Mia Goth's in it as well. Matt Smith is the villain.
There's a young boy or something. I don't remember, there's a child in it.
Matt Smith is a young Palpatine clone, probably.
Could be in Palpatine. They might just be like, yeah, it's doing the Palpatine thing.
Could you see any good faith evaporate more quickly than if they announce that, if that's revealed?
I think it would be pretty funny if the twist is this director Sandal or whatever Star Wars name they give him turns out to be Palpatine. He's like, I know, I got away. I escaped Exegol into this backup body.
It would be like Star Trek Into Darkness all over again. Just a collective groan from the audience in the cinema.
This is as much released as Star Wars films have been for a while, so at least it'll be in the cinema.
At least this one will be standalone as well. It's not the finale of a TV show that I haven't watched.
Exactly, yeah. This is one you can show up. This is, for at least us two and people who aren't keeping up with too much stuff, this is Star Wars is back at the cinemas, baby. It's easier to get more excited about this because it isn't the bookend of a thing.
And still on Matt Smith related, as in from his era of Doctor Who, we have Karen Gillan as well. She's going to be joining Henry Cavill in the Highlander remake.
Henry Cavill broke his foot or something, so this is taking a bit longer to...
Yeah, they've shut down production. The cast also includes Russell Crowe, Dave Bautista and Marissa Abela. Dave Bautista, I think before he shrunk down, is the villain that's going to fight Henry Cavill. The original Highlander was out in 1986, starred Christopher Lambert as Connor MacLeod and Sean Connery, who was swordsman named Ramirez. The titular Highlander battles other immortals across the centuries, culminating in a modern battle in which, like the classic line of dialogue goes, there can only be one. In the remake, Cavill is playing MacLeod, while Crowe is Ramirez. Batista is the savage warrior named the Kurgan, while industry actress Marissa Abela has a leading role. Gillan will play Heather, MacLeod's mortal wife and the love of his life.
Yeah, she gets to play a Scottish person.
Yes.
She's like, my dad, like, coach, can have the time off. Being Scottish is absolutely fine. I don't have to put on a robot or American voice. So.
Oh, and Jumon Honsu is also going to be in it, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's just the original film again. Henry Cavill will be huge.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the Highlanders, but I've heard fairly positive things from the world at large.
I've seen the first two, I think. I've definitely seen more than the first one.
It's one of those things that I've heard about it from other people's enthusiasm or other people who are more into Highlander and dribs and drabs. It seems like a fun idea and it could be quite a good trip to the movies.
Could be. This next bit of news made me laugh so hard, so it had to go on. Michael Caine is eyeing a return to acting with a sequel to The Last Witch Hunter. The 92-year-old screen legend is coming out of retirement for the feature, which will also see Vin Diesel return to the headline role. The sequel has been fast-tracked through development at Lionsgate. Though a deal for Caine hasn't been finalised, the actor is expected to reprise his role from the 2015 original. Caine played Dolan, a priest who assists Diesel's warrior Calder as he fights to stop a plague propagated by a witch queen. I have seen the original. It's awful. And Vin Diesel, he's usually bad in stuff. It was a passion project for him, according to this. It was an adaptation of his own Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
Everything he does is a passion project. He never does normal project. He only does stuff that he's absolutely 1,000% committed to. Redux his sort of OC. And then by now, Fast and Furious is his baby and his project. And I guess now we have this.
You have to wonder what it is about this that drew Michael Caine out of retirement. What kind of money is on the table here?
Probably just a bit of a laugh. He might have enjoyed the script they've given him.
I feel like Michael Caine is very selective about roles, but he will throw all his integrity out the window when the paycheck is enough to buy him an island or something.
Yeah, he was good in Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2. Spoilers, he's in Now You See Me 2 as well. He reprises his villainous role.
Yeah, that was one of his last roles, I think, until this one.
I think so, yeah.
Imagine this being the end of your long film legacy. It's like Orson Welles being in Transformers.
Yeah, and Sean Connery being in Extraordinary Gentlemen and stuff. Well, as long as it's fun, go for it.
I don't think this will be.
Cash the check. Turn up.
Vin Diesel's really struggling for roles, I think, these days, though, because Fast and Furious is petering out and no one wants to make Riddick anymore. And that Bloodsport, or whatever it was called, Bloodshot, that didn't go anywhere.
There's no more triple X's in the pipeline.
Yeah, so he'll do this.
It's odd that he wasn't in Dungeons and Dragons, the movie.
I'm glad he wasn't. I just find Vin Diesel difficult to watch. I just think he's really bad.
I like that he's a big nerd. But good for Michael Caine. If it is a cash-in or if he really enjoys it, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, if Michael Caine has fun, he's an old man, fair enough. He's the same age as my gran.
What's the thing, the last film he was in where he was like, Christopher Nolan wouldn't let him have a chair or something? As long as he gets his chair, then he's okay.
This one's more of a rumour, but it's one of those rumours that's pretty true, probably. Michael Bay is apparently coming back to Transformers. That's the Hail Mary that they're doing to make that franchise profitable again. I can't think of anything worse, because Transformers was actually getting good, at least with Bumblebee.
I've stopped watching for ages. I mean, I don't think I really watched very hard the initial ones.
When we lived together, we did a watch through of all of them.
We did, but I did sleep through some of them.
Woke up an hour later. What have I missed? Nothing.
Leonard Nimoy's blowing up a building or something like that.
They're still in that bloody submarine, whatever the last one was about. Can I understand why they're doing this? Not really, because the money was stopping being made in the last one. That's why they didn't continue the story, because it ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh, it's a G.I. Joe cliffhanger.
No, that's in Rise of the Beasts, which is the reboot continuity. But yes, that also ends in a cliffhanger. And there's still rumours about the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover, which someone wants to see, I guess.
I guess that could be what Michael Bay's working on. Or is this Transformers 6?
Maybe he'll just pick up his thread and force us through that, yeah.
Yeah, carry on with it.
I just don't think this will do well now, though. I feel like people just got sick of them.
Yeah, I think that kind of burnt It's like how occasionally they'll threaten that Johnny Depp will be back as Jack Sparrow. Yeah, I think I'd rather not. I think it's the same situation.
I thought Rise of the Beast was okay. Bumblebee was great, though. Bumblebee is kind of what it should have been in the first place. Plus, it has Haley Steinfeld in it, so you can't really go wrong. Bumblebee's a lot of fun. So it's a shame that we'll be going back to quote-unquote Bayhem, if that's what's happening.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Sometimes we read even rumours that sound almost a certain thing don't happen.
I only put the ones on that seem to be the no smoke without fire type rumours, where enough people have talked about this.
They've probably had a meeting with him in Hollywood somewhere, asked his ideas or whatever.
And the next thing is, you've already talked about it, but they're doing another Simpsons movie, which was 20 years ago, the first one.
It was 20 years ago. This one's in 2027, I think. All we have is a return. He's grabbing another donut. I'm intrigued.
It's going to be modern Simpsons, but on the big screen, which no one's really that interested in.
I think if I was to go back to The Simpsons, I'd give it a go on the cinema. I don't think I'd be like, I'm going to jump in on season 32 or whatever. I'd be like, no, I'll try a cinema film. Go for it.
Will the interest be there? Who knows? Unless they announce this is the end of The Simpsons.
That'd be pretty wild if they went out on a bang.
I mean, they could.
They could. It's been 30-something years.
But there's too much money in it. I don't think they'll end The Simpsons until someone like Dan Castellaneta dies.
I think they did say that. Was it Matt Groening or something? It's like, when he dies,
one of the big ones dies, yeah.
Julie Kavanaugh or whatever, then we'll stop it.
Yeah, but then Disney will step in and will be like, well, just create the voice with the AI.
Yeah, I'd say AI, yeah, but for now, like, the plan is to kind of wrap it up there. But I'd see another Simpsons film.
I'll wait and see how it materialises, but I don't think I've got much interest in it. I haven't watched The Simpsons for a long time. Or I have, but I never go beyond a certain point.
It certainly stopped me in my tracks mid-scroll, be like, oh, okay, so that's something.
Okay, let's talk about some video game adaptations. First up, we have Call of Duty, in the works, a movie under Paramount Skydance.
Not by Spielberg.
No, but he's really excited about it.
But he really wants to play Call of Duty.
Spielberg's a massive gamer.
You're the massive gamer. That's good for him.
Maybe he'll produce it, though.
Maybe.
My main question around this is, just make a war movie.
Yeah, just make a war movie and put Call of Duty on it.
What's the difference between this and, say, Black Hawk Down or something?
Yeah, that's the plan, I think.
I haven't played Call of Duty in years because they stopped catering to single players. You could complete the campaign in like 45 minutes or something like that.
What was the last one I played? Modern Warfare 2, I think.
My last one was Modern Warfare 3, and I completed the campaign in something like 2 hours.
Yeah, the last one I was invested in was Modern Warfare 2, which I think was on the PS3.
And that one's really short as well.
Yeah, it's short, but that's going back quite a way.
I don't like gaming online, so that's why I don't enjoy them anymore.
I really enjoyed World at War, I think it was called, because you got the flamethrower.
That was a good one, yeah. But that was between Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
I got the first Black Ops as well, which I quite liked. There's 7 of them now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've not played
But I stopped playing them because the single-player campaigns were more and more of an afterthought.
Yeah, it's just an online map. I'm not an online player.
In terms of the film, I don't know. I remember the story for Modern Warfare was pretty good, so if you bring in those characters and tell a war story. But like I said, it's just going to be a war film. They'll put Call of Duty on it.
Yeah, happens a lot.
Yeah, if you're into that, then cool. Will it be World War II set or modern set? Who knows?
Modern set, I think.
Well, if Spielberg's interested, he might just make the Normandy beach landings again.
Yeah, if I just do a D-Day thing.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll definitely see what's coming.
Yeah.
The other video game adaptation is one that you specifically requested, but it was going to be on anyway. Life is Strange live-action series ordered by Prime Video from Charlie Koval.
Yes. So, for those unfamiliar, Life is Strange is in the genre of your choices have consequences. At least the one I know, Life is Strange 1, which follows Max Caulfield, a student in Blackwell Academy in a fictional Oregon town of Arcadia Bay.
And that's the one that people thought was Elliot Page, but isn't.
No, this didn't have any controversy with that. We are thinking of The Last of Us. The controversy was around The Last of Us. Life is Strange, I think, came out in 2016. It's similar sort of time.
Am I making that mistake again? Am I thinking of the game that actually has Elliot Page in it?
There was a game that actually had Elliot Page called Beyond Two Souls, which was also slightly supernatural. And then Elliot Page got involved in some legal lawsuit with Naughty Dog, which I think was resolved out of court or whatever.
Because Ellie looks slightly like him.
I think the assumption was that they'd used his likeness or something. I can't remember the exact details.
Back when he was Ellen Page.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was resolved out of court, but I remember it being a brief news. Life is Strange, it's pre-mentioned Max Caulfield and her old friend Chloe Price, and she discovers a time warping ability. She can move time back 10 seconds or so, or a bit longer, probably a minute or so. And the point of the game is you can change your actions. A missing person is very heavily inspired by Twin Peaks. In Twin Peaks, I can't remember the character's name, but there's a missing person in the town, and Max uses her abilities to get to the root of it. It's a game that I absolutely adore. I really enjoyed Life is Strange 1. It has had a few sequels.
It was released as episodes, wasn't it? It wasn't all released at once initially.
It was episodic. It was a 5-part thing with 4 additional parts released as a prequel and then a super prequel. Collected that one thing is my favourite story-based game. And with the time of prestige video game adaptions, this is one I've been like, yeah, do that one. Do my favourite one. So yeah, this is very welcome news. And can't remember the actress's name, but part of the promotion for Wednesday Series 2, she did mention, she was like, oh, I think they're making a Life is Strange and I'd love to play Matt Caulfield. Everyone seems pretty on board that she'd be really good at it. At the moment, we don't know too much. I think there's now 4 games and each one focuses on a different person with a different power. But the assumption is that this is an adaptation of Life is Strange 1, the most popular of the lot. There was a little bit of online kerfuffles because the original creators aren't apparently involved, but I personally am like, whatever. It's all fine. I don't know how far down the pipeline it is. But no, I think this is super exciting. Of the video game adaptations, this is the one I've been wanting.
And then the question will be, will they adapt it in such a way that gives you something different to playing the game? That's the problem with The Last of Us for me. You haven't surprised me at all. In the first season, anyway.
Yeah, I think the big difficulty this will face is that the game is entirely based on player choice and consequence, which is the gimmick. I didn't see the Until Dawn film, but I know that game has the same thing where the chances of the characters survive depend on your skills. These decisions aren't as drastic, but how people respond to Max and the relationship she builds up and whether people can trust her or not is based on your own choice of interactions. There's a very pivotal scene where everything kind of hinges on your actions and you're stripped of the ability. So you're now suddenly thrust back into reality where you don't get to redo anything. An incredibly tense scene. So will the adaptation work with that level of interactivity between the player and the Max character. We'll have to see. It'll be a very tricky road to travel, but I'm super excited to see how they do it, if they achieve it or not.
I think as long as whoever's making it is aware of the fact that they're adapting something and they need to change the approach in some way to make that worthwhile, it has a chance. And I looked it up while you were talking there. The actress who plays Enid in Wednesday, her name is Emma Myers. She says, yes, I would love to do this job. Please give me paid work. Thank you.
Essentially, she's like, yeah, I'll do it. And everyone was like, yeah, let her do it. She's pretty good.
Maybe they'll listen.
Yeah, so that's one I'm very excited to see.
Cool, we'll see. Yeah, I do have Life is Strange, actually. I've just never played it.
1 is definitely worth it. I own 2, but again, I just never picked it up for some reason. I never started it. I didn't enjoy True Colours, which was the 3rd one. And then the 4th one was a return to the character of Max. I never got around to it because apparently it was no good, was the general consensus. I was like, I'm not buying this.
Basically the perfect concept to do exactly once and then do something else.
Exactly, yeah. Flogging a dead horse with that one, apparently. But I think it's kind of in demand as an adaptation. And yeah, super excited.
And now Amazon have got it, so good for them.
Now Amazon got it.
Next up, Zack Snyder is up to something. His long-awaited passion project, I guess long-awaited for him rather than anyone else, The Last Photograph is ready for its close-up. The Rebel Moon director has set the drama as his next film and cast Stuart Martin and Fra Fee to star. Snyder worked with both actors on the recent sci-fi franchise Rebel Moon, and after securing financing to get this film off the ground, set the 2 rising stars to headline the film.
It's something to do with like President Kennedy or something.
Snyder said, the idea of taking camera in hand and simply making a movie in an intimate way is very appealing to me. The Last Photograph is a meditation of life and death, embodying some of the trials that I have experienced in my own life and the exploration of those ideas through image making. The story follows an ex-DEA operative who must return to the mountains of South America in an effort to find his missing niece and nephew, following the brutal murders of their diplomat parents. Enlisting the help of a washed-up junkie war photographer, the only person to have seen the face of the killers, he sets out determined to find the children and the truth, but soon learns he must also face the ghosts of his past. Their journey into the unknown takes them further and further away from civilization, bringing into question everything they believe, while slowly eroding the distinction between real and surreal. Nothing to do with President Kennedy.
Sounds pretty cool. I thought there was the one with Kennedy assassination.
Not this one.
Not this one.
It's a quest, for one thing.
Yeah, he enjoys a quest, but this one sounds a bit more full than a heap of visuals thrown at you.
With Snyder's cinematography, the mountains of South America are going to look amazing.
Yeah, this is more interesting than more, what was it called, Doom Moon or whatever?
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon.
You're the one that's seen them as well.
I have seen them.
And for anyone that's interested, Snyder is probably not interested in finishing the Justice League verse that he was doing. That ship has sailed. Nobody is going to rescue it. It's done. Zack Snyder is making personal movies about photographs.
Yeah, and considering things that have happened in his life, it does sound like it's going to go into quite a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah.
They always look good. Could be worth a watch.
The one thing I'm wondering is, does Zack Snyder have anything to say as a filmmaker? It's one of those things where you pair him with a great script and the thing will be great. For example, Dawn of the Dead, written by James Gunn. Excellent, because you have a good writer and pairing it with a good director. I would say Man of Steel is broadly good with problems, but that's one example of, again, a decent script paired with an excellent director. But other than that, he hasn't really had the chops to associated with the writing in order to elevate his visuals.
I like that he's giving it a go, though.
Yeah, but I really hope this is the one.
Feels like he's owed a good one.
Yeah. If he has something to say and he's able to communicate that, then great.
Yeah.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, good luck to him. Good on you, mate.
Next up, we have the follow-up to The Social Network, which is now officially called The Social Reckoning. It'll be out in October 2026, so about a year from now. Mikey Madison is going to be in it. She was in Anora. Jeremy Allen White from The Bear is going to be in it. He's also Springsteen in Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere.
And he's big Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, yes, so he is. Jeremy Strong will be Mark Zuckerberg.
I think this is focused on the legal... Was it fairly recently? There was a whole stuff, one about Myanmar and then one about personal data. I think this is that element of the story I think I read.
Described as a companion piece to The Social Network, the new film focuses on events that take place nearly 2 decades after the Boy Genius programmer and a troupe of tech pioneers invented that would go on to become the world's largest social media platform. It tells a true story of how Francis Hone, that might be mispronounced, played by Mikey Madison, a young Facebook engineer, enlisting the help of Jeff Horowitz, a Wall Street Journal reporter, to go on a dangerous journey, ends up blowing a whistle on the social network's most guarded secrets. Horowitz, reporting a series of articles known as the Facebook Files, were published in 2021 and exposed Facebook for its harmful effects on teens and its knowing proliferation of misinformation, which contributed to acts of political violence. So yes, it's that era you were talking about.
Yeah.
Interesting story because it's This idea of the first film is, here's how this thing became a huge part of people's lives, and now here's the dangers of it being.
No, yeah, his danger of it, his ugliness of...
Yeah. Jeremy Strong as Zuckerberg instead of Jesse Eisenberg. Interesting. Andrew Garfield was asked if he's in it, and he said no.
You said that before.
But yeah, don't believe him when he says he's not in something.
Never believe.
But also the guy he played, Eduardo Saverin, apparently he is in Sweden or something, sitting on billions, just chilling.
Yeah, this point in the tale is long gone.
I would love the film to just cut to him periodically where he's just sitting on a beach or whatever.
Flicking through his phone, reading the news and laughing at his old mate. It's like, ah.
It's one of those things, if you watch The Social Network, the film wants you to kind of feel sorry for Andrew Garfield's character because he's the one that got screwed over by Zuckerberg and Sean Parker and so on. And when you look at what actually happened to him, and yeah, he was given a payout of billions, he's fine.
Everyone's fine. The Winklevosses are fine.
There's no need to feel sorry for any of these people. They're all variations of terrible people. Don't worry about it. But I'll be interested. Aaron Sorkin's dialogue, of course. He's directing this one as well. I feel like when he's directing, there's less flair to it than when he's just writing, because usually he's paired with a director that can really bring his words to life.
Was it David Fincher who did The Social Network?
Yeah.
I don't know much about writers, directors.
The thing about The Social Network is you'll remember it being very kinetic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Molly's Game. Well, that was one that Aaron Sorkin wrote and directed, and there's less flair to it.
Okay.
But maybe he's getting better. Who knows?
Yeah, could be interesting.
This will be interesting. I will definitely watch it. Knight Rider is coming back. A movie is in the works with James Wan producing, the Aquaman director, among The Conjuring and whatever else he's done. Spyglass Media Group will develop a feature film based on Knight Rider, which generated 90 episodes in a 4-season run. David Hasselhoff starred as Michael Knight, a mysterious agent for the Foundation for Law and Government, FLAG, driving the Knight Industries 2000, KIT, a technologically advanced Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. William Daniels was the voice of KIT. Basically, it's a guy in his talking car, and they solve problems.
My full knowledge of this is from The Simpsons, where they watch Night Boat.
There's always a canal.
Oh, look, a canal. It's like there's always a canal or a stream or a...
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't seen the original Knight Rider, but I really enjoyed the 2009 series. It is so campy and cheesy and ridiculous, and I had a great time with it. Would I watch a Knight Rider thing? Maybe. Is there going to be an audience for it? I don't know. And also, how advanced is KIT going to seem now when cars can just do a lot of what KIT could do? You can talk to your car and so on.
It'd be weird if he's just in a Waymo.
Yeah.
And it's just like driving him around. He can go around LA, but it struggles with parking or whatever. I think it's going to be a bit more advanced.
It's a self-driving car. In the 2009 series, they basically turned KIT into a bit of a transformer. It could turn into any car.
I'll probably do that, yeah. I'll be able to offshoot a motorbike and it'll be able to fly or whatever. It'll be like the guy who plays Luther's motorbike in Hobbs and Shaw that can do that stuff. Idris Elba. It'd be like that.
I'm surprised it took this long, but it did. And we're getting this. I'm sure Hasselhoff will appear in some kind of cameo or advisory capacity.
He'll drive past me. It's like, hey, there's a speed limit here or whatever. And he'll point out a 30 sign. This is a school zone.
Or it'll be a direct sequel where he's the original Michael Knight teaching the new guy how to be Knight Rider.
He's like an old version of the car.
Which is actually what the 2009 show is. In the 2009 show, the lead guy is his son, and Hasselhoff appears once.
I'm assuming this will just be a random agent.
Here's the keys, whatever. And also, I should have put this one among all the video game adaptations, but I'm dumb and didn't. But anyway, the Tomb Raider live-action series to begin filming 2026 has confirmed that Sophie Turner will be Lara Croft. This is the one that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is involved in. You know that deal she has with Amazon where she just did nothing for like 6 years?
Yeah, she gets like $1 billion. It's like, yeah, I'll get around to it. Well, she's got around to it.
Why can't I get that job? I can take a paycheck and do nothing. I'd be happy to.
Write an award-winning Changes the Fringe show. And then do that. You live here. You don't have to pay for the accommodation.
I'd rather just get paid a lot of money to do nothing.
You've got to do something first for no money.
It's a shame.
That's how they get you.
So Sophie Turner, who was, among other things, Jean Grey, some of the recent X-Men movies. She was in Game of Thrones as well. I don't really know much about her, though. In terms of the look, well, they're obviously going to go for the more modern reboot Tomb Raider, so she could be good. I feel like we missed out on an Alicia Vikander sequel, though. I think she was really good in the role. That's a shame.
Did they make 2 or did they make 1?
Just 1.
I remember not liking it.
The thing is, it's not great, but it's fine, and I think it's very much elevated by her. I think she's very good in it. but it wasn't to be. And the Angelina Jolie ones, they're just fun trash.
It's a franchise I didn't join into till quite late, until the 2016. 2016 was a banger year. Life is Strange, Tomb Raider.
You played that Tomb Raider game, yeah?
Yeah, that was my first Tomb Raider game. I remember being super annoyed because Rise of the Tomb Raider only came out on Xbox.
At first, it was a timed exclusive.
It was a timed exclusive. I remember being really annoyed.
Now you could probably get it for £4 or something.
I got it, eventually never played it. But at the time, I was absolutely livid.
I liked those 3 games, but the first one is the best.
Yeah, I had the diminishing returns. I remember I got Shadow, and I was like, I don't want to make my own bow. Just give me the bow. I don't want to craft my arrows by finding feathers or whatever.
The second one and the third one, so Rise and Shadow, I remember thinking, there's just too much to do.
Yeah, it was high in the world of crafting, and I was like, I don't care about that.
It's also, the second one being called Rise of the Tomb Raider is very confusing, because you might assume that's the first one.
Well, she doesn't really raid any teams in the first one. She stumbles into the teams.
There's a few optional ones, they're just one puzzle room though.
Yeah, she's trying to escape the island, and now she's like, actively looking at the scary islands.
Don't know what the premise of this will be, but Sophie Turner's in the role. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be writing it or producing it, or a bit of both.
Yeah, probably ancient Mayans or something, but should be fun.
Chad Hodge is boarded the show as exec producer and co-showrunner. Watched the Haley Atwell animated one, that was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. I remember seeing the trailer.
It's a sequel to the first game, so it's set between the first 2 games, as in the reboot ones.
Yeah.
We'll see how Sophie Turner does. She was a decent Jean Grey, I thought, let down by terrible films.
I can't remember. I mean, I don't know much about the X-Men. I remember she was in it.
Next up, Guillermo del Toro is doing something. He is going to be adapting The Boy in the Iron Box, which is a 6-part novella series from Chuck Hogan and Guillermo del Toro. They've got some casting as well. They've got Rupert, your best friend, Kevin Durand, and Jaden Martell. Novella series watches as a plane carrying a team of mercenaries crash lands on a remote snowy summit. When they come across a maze-like stone fortress, it's no refuge from the wolves and the freezing wind. It's more like a trap. What they discover can stop the heart, or worse, as terror takes a new shape, the real battle for survival begins. So it's a survival story.
Yeah.
Done by Guillermo del Toro. This horror story, del Toro specialises in that sort of stuff. I'll give it a go for sure. It's a shame that del Toro, one of the best visual guys, is stuck at Netflix though, where they'll just never release his stuff on the big screen.
Yeah, he's a little bit stuck. But maybe if his Frankenstein does really well, they might loosen the reins. But okay, maybe we should let you do some of the
I think that has a limited cinema engagement. That's another one that I missed out on from the London Film Festival partnering screenings. But I'm hoping it will just come out and I can go see it.
Hopefully.
Next up, we have Natasha Lyonne and Matt Berry creating and starring in retro comedy adventure series Force and Majeure for Sky. Force and Majeure follows a British art expert, Thomas Force, played by Berry, and American mercenary Jennifer Majeure, played by Lyonne. The pair are recruited by an eccentric, justice-obsessed billionaire named Amanda Daventry and find themselves tasked with defeating the evil plans of international villains operating in locations across Europe. But as Force and Majeure team up to defeat the forces of evil, they must also work together to escape the clutches of Amanda, who may not be telling them the whole story. It's created by comedy writer Tom Sharpling, who did Monk and What We Do in the Shadows, alongside Berry and Lyonne. It's written by Sharpling, Ian Morris, who did The In-Betweeners, Time Bandits, and Shiroko Dunlap, who did Russian Doll, the second best hospital in the galaxy. So it's people that Matt Berry and Natasha Lyonne tend to collaborate with doing this. It's got Matt Berry in it, so that's always fun.
I think like you were out Jack Black. I think I lost interest in Matt Berry a fair while ago, and I'm now like, yeah, he just does a fancy voice, but that's about it.
The voice is enough for me, yeah. He was also in Minecraft. He shows up as a voice.
He's in everything. He's a voice in everything. He's going to be Bane, I think, in Lego Batman. I don't have the immediate, oh, Matt Berry. He just sort of says things in a silly way.
This show sounds fun. It sounds like it's a proper comedy buddy act.
Yeah, I like some of the What We Do in the Shadows that I watched. Look was funny, but I'll likely forget about it.
We'll see. It's a Sky thing, so it'll be on at some point. Next up, John Cho and Alexandra Daddario to star in horror Inground for Scott Free. Star Trek and Searching star John Cho and The White Lotus and Mayfair Witches star Alexandra Daddario have been set to star in horror thriller Inground. Aaron Katz, who did Gemini, is directing from a screenplay by Dan Dworkin, who did American Horror Story, and Ridley Scott, Michael Pruce and Sam Roston will produce. The logline reads, a recently divorced father attempts to reconnect with his young son by building a swimming pool in his backyard that they can both enjoy over the course of a long hot summer. What begins as an exciting project turns into a terrifying nightmare.
I'm not that fussed. I've heard of one of them, people. I've heard of Ridley Scott. I've heard of swimming pools.
Gemini, I think, is that movie that Will Smith is also in with Will Smith.
Oh yeah, I saw that last Christmas.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I like John Cho a lot. I think he's really good. If you've not seen Searching, you should watch it.
Oh yeah, we saw Searching. We went to the cinema, but it was zoomed in too much, but no one really cared or
Oh
noticed.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, they projected it wrong, so you couldn't actually see what some of the stuff was. He was really good in that. I like Alexandra Daddario as well. I think she's great in whatever I've seen her in, which isn't that much, actually. She played The Rock's daughter in San Andreas.
I don't remember.
That's the one where The Rock is the worst first responder you could ever imagine, because he only goes to save his own family and ignores all the other people.
That doesn't narrow it down. That's the one where The Rock prioritizes his family. Oh, that one.
But he's actually a rescue guy in that movie, and he doesn't rescue anybody.
He does security and rescue on most of these things.
But sounds like an intriguing bit of intrigue. Someone's trying to make a swimming pool and it's haunted or something.
He'd probably dig a gravesite up or something, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, it's like a Poltergeist remake. We're going to close out with a bit of Sylvester Stallone stuff.
He's dead. I don't think he is, actually. I think he's fine.
He's too busy making more seasons of that Tulsa King show that no one watches. And Paramount Plus, the streaming service that no one has. He's Tulsa King.
No. Like Tiger King. Is it similar vibe?
I've no idea. I've no idea what it's about. It's probably gangland nonsense. He might also be waiting for James Gunn or someone to recast him as one of the Ravagers or whatever they're called in Guardians.
Yeah.
Are they the Ravagers?
Yeah, they're called the Ravagers.
Those guys, anyway.
Yeah, those guys.
But anyway, this has nothing to actually to do with Sylvester Stallone because he's not involved, but we are getting a Rambo prequel that's called John Rambo, and Noah Centineo is attached to play Rambo. The first Rambo film was based on David Morrell's 1972 novel First Blood, about a troubled Vietnam War veteran and former US Army Special Forces soldier who is an expert in weaponry, hand-to-hand combat and guerrilla warfare. There have been 5 Rambo films, and this will be the 6th, but it's a prequel. Basically, I think it's just going to be a Vietnam movie that will have John Rambo in it, played by someone else. And one of the interesting things I found was Sylvester Stallone is like Arnie in that so iconic on his own that how can you cast someone else as those characters?
I've never seen any Rambo, so this is totally beyond.
Have you seen a Stallone movie though?
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen a Stallone movie. I've never seen a Rocky and I've never seen a Rambo.
Judge Dredd?
Mm-mm.
But anyway, Stallone is part of a particular era of action heroes where he is the product.
Yeah, he was in the age of the star.
Yeah, so it's difficult to imagine anybody else being him like Arnie. They're so iconic by themselves. Noah Centineo, he was in Black Adam. He was Atom Smasher.
So do you think it'll be more like the book and further away from the Stallone Rambo and a different style of Rambo? Is that the angle to go to?
Could be. Well, the thing is, First Blood is very different to the other Rambo movies. They become more action-focused as they go on. And then you go back to a bit more gritty with the one that was just called Rambo. That was the 4th one. The first one is actually really interesting and gritty because you've got this whole thing about he's a Vietnam War veteran that realizes that his country has forgotten him or doesn't respect him. So he just decides to go to war with a police force in a small town and sets traps in the jungle and so on for them. Or in the forest. In a way, he's a bit of a Solid Snake type. You know, that kind of vibe of he's very stealthy and resourceful. They found someone that's going to play this role, and whether there'll be a match for Stallone remains to be seen. Brave choice for an actor to take that on.
There's iconic takes on characters or people that know the actor more than the characters, but sometimes it's quite fun to wildly mix it up and reinvent it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. And it could be a proper reinvention of the concept, I guess, but it's one of those things that's so personally linked to Stallone that it's hard to separate it.
I imagine it's similar to when Mad Max was taken over from whoever the first Mad Max was by Tom Hardy.
Mel Gibson.
From Mel Gibson. He was also of that era where Mel Gibson is more about seeing him in a film than the film itself, and then someone else doing a different thing on it and then seeing how that responds. So it can work.
Yeah, we'll see. In other Stallone adjacent news, Anthony Ippolito will play Sylvester Stallone in Rocky making-of drama that's called I Play Rocky. It's going to be a fictionalized dramatization of the making of Rocky.
All I know is he ran out of money and sold his dog, and he bought his dog back.
Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that.
That's all I know about it. In order to fund a bit, he sold his dog for like $200 or something, and then he bought his dog back for like 10 grand. An absurd amount of money. He's like, thanks for looking after my dog. Here's an absolute obscene amount of money for him back. Whether that's true or if it's just a Hollywood story or me misremembering is neither here nor there.
Something for you to do, look that up. This is described as the ultimate underdog story behind the ultimate underdog movie. I Play Rocky will follow Ippolito's Stallone as he insists on playing the titular boxer himself after writing the screenplay. He won over the film's producers Toby Emmerich and Christian Baja by submitting an unsolicited audition tape to them as soon as he heard about the project. That bold move ultimately led to him landing the role, mirroring the very tenacity I Play Rocky celebrates. It'll be directed by Peter Farrelly, who co-directed comedy hits like Dumb and Dumber and There's Something About Mary, with his brother Bobby, be before helming 2018's Green Book. So there you go. He's going to play Sylvester Stallone. Here's an even funnier aside to that as well. He previously played Al Pacino in The Offer, a behind-the-scenes drama about The Godfather.
This guy just does making-ofs.
Yeah, he just does fictionalized versions of making-ofs. I think it's hilarious that he can be Al Pacino and Sylvester Stallone. The two are not alike in any way. This guy must be a chameleon.
Well, that's what actors do.
Like with Rambo, Rocky is so connected to Stallone that it's going to be hard to see, even if someone else is playing Stallone. But it'll also be hilarious if this guy is going to do the Stallone impression.
Well, this guy's playing Stallone playing Rocky.
Well, he'll be playing Stallone trying to get a film made, and there'll be some scenes where he's playing Stallone playing Rocky, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he'll do the impression, the voice.
Probably. If he's playing Stallone.
I'm not going to do a Stallone impression.
If he's playing Stallone, he'll probably have to do the Stallone voice.
If anybody wants me to do a Stallone impression, donate money. I'll do it in the next news podcast. I'm not going to do that now because I'm just not going to. I'm not going to say it's a good impression, but the impressions of Stallone. He has got a very imitatable voice, just like Arnie.
That must have been the secret.
The voice.
It's all about the voice.
These are two things that I will watch. I think the Rambo Zero Blood, I guess, because this is a prequel, will be, to use that word again, timely, because we are living in an era where perhaps we're not showing enough respect to the people that go over there and do these horrible things in the name of perhaps unjust orders. I think the Vietnam reaction thing, it just loops throughout history, where it's, we shouldn't have been involved in this. And so on. So I think that'll be a relatable thing. And then just the making of Rocky. It's just weird to make a film about making a film rather than just watch the behind the scenes stuff on the Blu-ray or whatever.
I suppose it depends on how wild the making of the film was.
I haven't read the backstory of it. And I think there's a lot of stories that may or may not be true, like the dog one that you told.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that's true. But there's all these things of the rumour is that Stallone wrote the script in one day and all this kind of stuff. And even he's denied that. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I just find it interesting that people are taking the plunge and playing or recasting Sylvester Stallone. That's interesting to me. Just because of how iconic he is.
Everybody's replaceable.
Yeah, that's it. Look out, Arnie. Someone's coming for your accent.
Someone's been the Terminator, I think. There's been Terminators.
Yeah, but no one's been like Arnie's Terminator.
No, true.
Other than Arnie. And same with Arnie's characters. They've largely been untouched. We did get Conan, but that was a different take on Conan rather than it being a recast. It was just a readaptation. Same with Total Recall. That wasn't a remake of the movie as such.
That's the same case in Rambo. It's a retake.
Yeah, it's difficult to describe because it is just so connected to Stallone because there's never been another Rambo.
There's never been another thingy until they do it.
Yeah, but usually when someone like Stallone or Arnie does something, their stamp is on it. So it'll be interesting to see Glenn Powell's Running Man, because that was an Arnie movie.
Yeah.
But again, that's a different adaptation of the book. So like you say, maybe the Rambo thing will be more, we're having another go at the book, but calling it a prequel as well just suggests that this is the Stallone continuity, but just younger. So who knows?
Who knows?
But that's us. That was our last news item. So that was our discussion about September 2025 and a bit of August 2025 news and trailers. I would like to thank Neil Stenson for the supplied music. If you like what you heard, please do hit subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. It will be in your feed. You can subscribe to it and you can usually leave a rating and a review. So Isaac, I'll ask you, how many stars should they give us?
I don't want to be greedy, but give us all the stars. Why not?
All of the stars. All possible stars.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. 5 out of 5.
Why not? It doesn't cost you anything.
And donate money for the Stallone impression if you want. May or may not happen. If you want to discuss anything we brought up here or anything else really, you can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter /X or Blue Sky under Neil Before Blog, or you can leave a comment under neilbeforeblog.co.uk. You can also join us on Discord, where we have an engaged community of multiple listeners. Should they join us on Discord, Isaac? Do you think they should join the conversations that happen there sometimes?
Yeah, I'd say of the 3 you've listed, of the Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, Discord's probably the best place. As you go on Discord, that's the one that's a bit more interesting.
Yes, it's a community of our own making, so you don't have to put up with the noise that's on Twitter, for example. For more monthly news podcasts like this, for interviews and deep dive conversations about your favourite nerdy things, you can always join us on Neil Before Pod.